aka the Common Sense Diva, and welcome to the ladies' room, continuing the conversation. So we are just talking today about Insecure season 4, episode 7, Key Trippin, and I brought some amazing co-hosts with me today. We have the lovely Roxanne. Hey, Roxanne. She is an educator doing her thing out here, making sure your kids are really smart. And then we have the lovely Shatanya Ami. She is a celebrity stylist, making sure people are looking amazing, be it print, be it red carpet, just making sure everyone looks their best. And you know who I am. I'm Jane B. Okay, so let's get the conversation started. Get it together because Andrew over there bringing her refreshing drinks in the morning. Nobody's giving me a refreshing drink.
Right.
So you getting a refreshing
after you done cursed out my brother.
Right. Molly is giving me.
Lucky she didn't wake up alone.
Huh?
I said lucky she didn't wake up alone, completely alone, bags packed, going. You done cursed out my brother and insulted my whole culture, and I'm bringing you a refreshing drink.
Right. But that goes into the whole ain't nobody gonna play me attitude. It was like sometimes it's okay to like not like they used to say it's okay to not RSVP to every argument. Like you don't have to participate that. You can just be like, okay, whatever, you know. Like she kind of engaged with him in that way. I would have quickly gave Andrew a look like, your brother. Right. And got myself another drink or something. You know?
But that's what the brother was trying to say to her in so many ways. But even though he was antagonizing in his message, but basically he was trying to say, you don't have to jump on the defense for everything. Like every fight is not a fight. Like it is what it is. That lady may have been doing something that you found offensive. Let her be ignorant and you keep it pumping. Do you have to really react to everything? And she was just showing, yes, I do. I'm a reactor. Right. And you just proved him right.
I'm gonna ruin my time here, you know?
Yes, and your time.
Right. So let me ask you, I had seen it, someone had said, and I didn't even really take this aspect of it, but they were saying, do you think Molly was the angry black female? Do you think she was coming across like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah. Not extreme, but it was hints of it that it could go there because it's kind of like a grenade, like, oh no, not even a grenade, a ticking time bomb. Like you don't know when it's gonna go off, when it's gonna come full blown angry black woman, and it's just like it is a bit of that combative black woman, maybe, as opposed to the angry black woman. Because we do have that stigma connected to us of being combative. That's why a lot of times when we at jobs, we get fired because they don't want to have to reprimand us or correct us because they think we're going to be combative and it's going to be a scream session because of the fact that they needed to correct us. So a lot of times we lose our jobs because these people don't want to come to us because they think that we're going to be combative. So that is a stereotype that a lot of us confirm, and it's like it's horrible. It sucks because even myself, a lot of times I have to bite my tongue because I'm like, okay, I don't want to be seen as that combative black woman, but it's just like, all right, I'm gonna suck this one up because I'm not only representing myself, I'm representing all black women. And it's sad that we have to be on this million woman march by ourselves sometimes, but sometimes you do.
Yeah, it's always tough. Like I'm always like worried about that whole angry black woman stereotype because in one way, yes, it can be like that. Like, but on the other side, I always feel really bad for black women in that we can't express ourselves. Like, so we kind of have to like, because there are situations where people say stuff that are deeply offensive, and we're kind of like encouraged to just kind of swallow it. And, you know, and that builds a lot of resentment. I don't always think that's fair, but I do think there's ways to communicate your feelings, which I think Molly just has an overall problem with. And I always feel like you can't be mad at something and you don't know what the root is. So it's like she unleashed probably something else that she was upset about. And that whole situation was triggering for her. Right. You know, and I just wish a lot of, primarily black women, would like deal with a lot of those issues, especially like racial insensitivities, because it is a real issue from them. But I think a lot of us, we don't really deal with it. So when these things happen, we lash out at like kind of like these inappropriate times, which is kind of what she did. So this whole taboo thing kind of was a manifestation of like maybe what she did in the workplace, or like, you know, I think she worked
That's
in
what I was just getting
corporate.
ready to say.
So this
her
happened,
corporate
and she
America
like,
job, yeah.
And I think that happens a lot with Black women. Like we kind of unload at these different points, you know, because we get so sick of it, instead of learning how to healthily deal with it. Like, all right, you know. So then we end up looking crazy.
Yeah.
Places. You know,
that's definitely true.
There comes a time when you have to say, I don't care what you think, but this is how I'm going to handle the situation, because that's the whole point. If I can make you scared because you're going to be looked at as an angry Black woman, I could say anything, I could do anything to you, and you better not say nothing, or you're going to look angry. Sometimes you're going to be like, well, you know what, I'm going to be angry then. I'm going to come.
Right.
Because if that's the case, that means you could, you know, I've been in situations where people do things, and I probably have been, you know, quiet too. I mean, nothing too crazy that I had to go off or whatever like that, but it gets to a point where no, because you get to do whatever you want. You know, like the other people.
Say whatever you want, feel however you want. Yeah. Express yourself however you want.
Right. And you're never called the angry anything. Like, you know, but then if I even say, if I question something, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be angry.
Or question something being combative. You could be simply asking a question and people are, oh, it's not an argument. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Don't say that it's an argument, because I'm not arguing.
That serious. And I'm like, what? I just asked clarification.
Like, don't do that.
Right.
Or when they want to be like, oh, you're attacking me. Ooh, that pisses me off. I'm not attacking you.
You won't have hair follicles if I was really attacking you.
Please. You don't know what. You clearly never been attacked before. Right.
That's not attacking. But you know what it is? This is what's so amazing to me. I was thinking about this today. Just like you know how they always say you're acting like a victim. You know they say that, right? You're being a victim when you're Black and you say something, right? Just like the legacies of slavery have been passed down, the legacy of racism and misunderstandings have been passed down too. So we're not the only ones with things that have been passed down to us. They have had things passed, whoever they are, have had things passed down to them too. And that's why you could be the sweetest Black woman in the world, but if angry has been passed down, that's all you see. You can't even. So, you know, we all have our biases and our issues and things like that. It's just, you have to get to a point like, I don't care. This is what it is. I mean, I probably wouldn't have F you. I wouldn't have said that to the brother, because that's a little excessive for me.
Right, that was.
But I still would have been like, I don't know how I would have handled that, to be honest. Like, how would you guys have handled that?
You already know when I'm on vacation, like I'm not letting anything bother me, because I feel like, you know, with the vacations, it's hard for all of us to get out to go to one. Like it was something that her and Andrew got to do alone. Like I don't think she should have gave it that much energy. I think, like I personally would have probably excused myself, and I would have told him privately, you need to check your brother. Right. Because I don't think he said anything, like he didn't call her out her name. Like, you know, if he said something low down, really disrespectful, then I'm like, yes, by all means, you gotta handle yourself. But he had a differing of an opinion. Right. And, you know, that's allowed, whether or not it was right or wrong. But I definitely would have just excused myself, gave his wife the towel, and be like, Andrew, I'm gonna go get a drink or sit on the beach for a little bit. But can you please talk to your brother? And be like, I didn't like that. Like she didn't really give him a chance, and she put him in a real awkward position. To kind of like defend his girlfriend, but like not disrespect his brother. Like it was kind of like the first time they met. So I think she would have benefited from walking away, collecting herself, because she was a little amped. She was a little amped about a towel, you know.
Right.
Molly don't ever do that.
Clearly was very delicate. Right. It was very
never walks away.
She doesn't. I definitely would have ignored the brother, because I know those type of people. I'm like, okay, you're an antagonizer. And when as soon as he would have said, let's play devil's advocate, and we would have been going back and forth, would have been like, okay, I already see where this is going. It's not going in a good place. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to smile and I'm going to walk off. And I'm just going to be like, okay, no problem. Laugh it off, because like, this is not going to get solved here. And it's just going to get deeper and deeper. You're going to antagonize me more. You're being an idiot right now. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to stoop to your level. of where you're going with this. Yeah, okay, I got turned up over towel, I played myself, but yeah.
But would you have said, even in your quietness, would you have said something to Andrew?
Yeah, I would have said something to Andrew in private. I would have said something to Andrew once we got back to the hotel room. Like, that's something that we talk about in private. That's the thing I don't appreciate when women check their mate in front of other people. Because it's just like when you reprimand children in front of other people. I even think a lot of parents do that to their kids. I feel like, pull your child to the side and talk to your child. Don't embarrass them in front of people. I hate when a woman reprimands her husband or her mate or whatever and says, you need to talk to your brother. No. If that's how you feel, like, okay, give him a look. Y'all should have a relationship enough that y'all could give each other a look and y'all know what each other's thinking already. Right. And you already know, and he knows, okay, she's about to walk off, we about to handle this. We'll talk about this later. I would have talked to him in the hotel room. Like I would, like Roxanne said, would have got myself a drink, some vodka, and would have like, what about my business?
About my business. Y'all not fitting to ruin my vacation.
Some Tito's right now.
Oh, but towel. I wish I would let a towel ruin that whole beautiful vacation. And that is something I wish people would like, primarily women of color, like we could get real caught up. And it's like, girl, don't let this ruin your don't let this ruin your trip. Talk to Andrew about it later, or now you know dinner with your brother is probably not happening because I didn't enjoy myself, which I'm really big for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I agree with you. Like, I think something that women can do is that humiliation thing. Like, definitely a private conversation would have had to happen. Like, I didn't like the way that conversation went. You know, or he should have prepped I think he did prep her a little bit. He did say, like, you know, my brother could be a little, you know, so he kind of told her.
Right. So she probably had in her mind, well, I'm ready. No, girl. Like, that means just let it roll up. Right. I'm ready.
Because ain't nobody going to play me. You know, they love me.
And, you know, but let me ask you guys this, though. Do you think that Andrew not being a Black man, do you think that that played a part in the way he treated Molly throughout the vacation and the way he handled the brother situation? Do you think race plays a part in it? Do you think culture plays a part in it?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it plays a big part. Because I feel like traditionally, their race, it is partially, it can, and it really depends on how the person is raised, you know. But a lot of times, sadly, our people, we are on the defense too. So, you know, now you got the angry Black man and the angry Black woman, and now you've seen that video with that Black family that was fighting in Disney World. Like,
Roxanne, did you see it?
No, I didn't. But I'm like, what?
Oh my God, girl!
They call the happiest place on earth.
Right, and girl, they call it the Toontown Tussle.
Disney World.
They call it the Toontown Tussle.
Hey, do you know how much a ticket costs to get in Disney World?
Like,
I
was like
people, no, y'all not ruining my good time. Because now I gotta get kicked out the park. And I got a $300 down the drain, and I don't flew down here. No, I'm not letting that happen.
Roxanne, don't worry, I'll send you the video. I'll send you.
You know, I love videos.
Hilarious.
I think that's right.
Bad communication, not knowing how to let things roll off your back when somebody comes at you, not knowing how to just not argue and fight. These people were brawling, and it's like, okay. So I do feel like it's a cultural thing. I feel like sometimes, because men of other races don't have that narrative, if they don't date as many Black women, they don't have the narrative of, oh, she being combative, oh, she's being this, oh, she ain't gonna run me, oh, I'm gonna check her, da-da-da-da. Like, they don't have that where they're already on that knee-jerk reaction. Because I've dated guys who, if I'm just asking a question, they think that I'm that combative woman, and I'm like, okay, I'm not her. Please don't put me, and I don't argue and fight. I don't do all of that. That's not me in a relationship. For me to argue and fight with you, you have to put me to a whole nother level. So don't put me in that box of that combative woman. So a lot of times the arguments go way off to the side because it's an assumption. So he didn't have that narrative of, you know, she's being combative. He doesn't have the narrative of she's just angry. So he's handling her a different way, the way he would handle probably his Asian girlfriend. Like, okay, she's going through something, but he's probably being even more patient because he knows she flies off the handle.
Right.
Like, you know, let me breathe.
It could be cultural too.
They could be angry.
It could definitely be cultural on Andrew's part, because I know, like, in certain cultures, like, for example, my family's from Sierra Leone, West Africa, and what it is like, if you're, especially if like it's an older sibling, like it's really like you can, like, my sisters are super cool, but like I'm the youngest, but my oldest sister, like I really can't, like, it's not really comfortable to be getting in her face. Like, it's just not something that you do culturally. Like, there's a little bit of a regard,
respect,
for your older sibling. So, and I think you kind of see that because when she wanted to cancel, he was like, he kind of planned everything, and she's looking at it like, so what? And it's like, I wouldn't be able to do that. If my sister, I went to Mexico with her and she planned something and I fixed myself to be like, I'm not going, she'd be like, I don't think so. Like, are you sick? Are you dying? Like, what do you mean you can't go? So I think, and also that's really hard for people outside, like, you know, primarily in American culture, which is fine. They like, you know, they don't get it. They're like, well, what's the big deal? Like, so she's like, curse your brother out. Like, so what? And he probably's like, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. Can you just like, because I think he kind of told her, like, can you just like let it go? This is how he is. Like, let's just have a good time. So I don't know. I don't think the brother really offended her that much for her to have that reaction. Like, she could have, on the strength of her man and a vacation, handled that a little bit better. Because like, if you want a long-term relationship with him, now you kind of have this feelings, you know, they saw you lose your cool, you know.
Right. You know, and now the family's gonna be looking at you one way, because the brother's definitely taking that back to the other side of the other family members on Andrew's side. They're like, yeah, she insulted us, she cursed me out, she did this. I don't know if we want her to come to Christmas dinner.
Right.
Or they know that she's easily rattled. I was like, girl, keep your cool. Keep your cool.
Wait, never let them see you sweat, right?
Yeah, keep your cool a little bit. That was an easy one.
In a situation like that, though, I think in that is a little different for me, because Andrew also knew his brother. So he know, it's not like his brother was this darling, amazing guy, and then Molly cursed him out. You know what I'm saying? Right. He cursed him out because Andrew knows her brother could be an a-hole. And so, and then with an a-hole and then Molly, you know, those two ain't good.
Bad combination.
You know, and I think so it was, so in Molly's case, I do see like Andrew giving her a little bit of a pass, because my brother's an a-hole, I know how he is, and then I know how you are. So it's not like I said, if it was a sweet guy and then she cursing, I'd be like, okay, she crazy, we're gonna leave her alone.
Right.
But her brother, like they was, you know, feeding each other, you know, on that.
Right.
So, I mean,
she needs to learn to relax. But I would have been like, all right, bye, y'all. I'm gonna be over here.
But I'm glad towards the end she got an idea and she called for therapy, because she realized, like, okay, you know what, I'm doing too much. So I guess that's the whole reason why I was called low-key tripping. Like, yeah, I'm tripping. Let me go to therapy. Let me get this fixed, which a lot of us need to do. Like, check ourselves, like, you know, acknowledge what we're doing and step back and be like, okay, wait a minute, that was too much. You did too much.
Right.
So let's get this help.
I think that when you really want to get to somebody, you know how people say kill them with kindness? If Andrew was going off and meeting her toe to toe, she wouldn't have never called the therapist.
No.
Andrew was still loving her even through her illness. Like, unless you are a psychopath, sociopath, crazy person, there's no way somebody's being that gentle to you after you've been wilding out and you don't feel it, because you're gonna be like, yo, I'm bugging out. What am I doing? And I think that's why I feel therapist, because somebody can't be loving on you like that and you still acting up. You just, I mean, it's gonna hit you. Like, what am I doing?
Right. He really keeps that relationship afloat because he has that balance. He has the balance. He doesn't have the short fuse. he has he knows how to rationalize things, and you know, he knows how to communicate. So if it wasn't for him, like, that relationship would have went up in flames a long time ago. Like, she needs someone like that to bring her down, to calm her down, to let her see herself and see her flaws and see, like, okay, someone is capable of loving you with your flaws, but you do need to work on them. They don't have to accept these flaws, like, work on these flaws. But like, he's a really good man, because he can see it. He could talk to her. He could try to bring her back. Like, even when she wanted to be fixated on Issa, and he said, but is Issa here? Like, he knows how to bring her back into the moment. Like, okay, we're not going to worry about Issa. We're not going to worry about this. We're not going to worry about that. Let's be in the moment. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy us. Right. You being crazy, have this drink. You okay? Like,
right. that was beautiful. I think that's why I fell in love with him. I think that's why I really fell in love with Andrew this episode, because just the way he was, because I love men that are gentle like that. I love men that are really gentle and kind. But the thing is, he's not scared of her either. And that's what makes him more fabulous, because he's like, he's not scared of her. He will check her, but he does it in such a loving way. Because you see how Molly gets very soft and pink around him.
Yes, and that's what she needs. Like, sometimes, and some women, even myself, when I was younger, sometimes you need that man to have that whip, like, get back to relax. Like, I had an ex that was like that. Like, I would throw a temper tantrum and I'd be acting crazy, and he'd be like, get yourself together. You better calm down, and I don't know who you talking to type situation. You're like, okay, you know, and then you gotta calm down.
As women, I think we like that. I think speaking as women, you want someone you can trust, but someone who ain't gonna let you run amok. And I think men are the same way. If they can walk over you, they don't respect you.
That's true. And he still treated me with respect, and still, like, was gentle. He was kind of like a Andrew. But it was, did I call him Alex earlier? Okay.
I didn't even notice.
But you know, that's just like, you know, real life, Alexander.
Oh, that's why I probably called him Alex. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So no, it's true. Yeah. Like, that's what she needs. She needs that balance. Yeah. She needs.
I think she needs, like, also. I think also the hidden theme is just overall communication. Like,
100%.
Even that whole, like, Molly Issa situation. I'm like, you know, how many friendships could have either been saved or y'all move on with some simple communication. Like, I don't even think they know why they mad at each other. How many times people like, y'all not talking? Like, what happened? Do y'all know what y'all mad about?
No.
That is such a big problem that you bringing it into your relationship, Molly. You need to talk about it then.
Right.
You mad at her so much that you are, like, having some kind of dialogue with your new boyfriend about it, and he's kind of feeling uncomfortable. He feel like he can't even be in a conversation with his friend because she's in the background. So it's like, you got to address it. Clearly it's seeping into other areas in your life, you know. And I think she has, like, a communication issue too.
Right.
Oh, 100%. I would say that's 100%, because even the part where there was one part, in my opinion, I looked at it, and I said this on my video that I posted about this show, that to me, I felt it was, this whole episode was about conflict resolution, because Andrew showed Molly, this is how, now me and my brother could have been fighting, y'all could have been fighting, but I spoke to him this morning. I told him, listen, we ain't hanging with you today, because you know that's how the conversation really went. We ain't hanging with you today. And then y'all gonna go your way. We gonna do this. We gonna go to the spa or whatever. And then, so it's like they came up with a solution. Like, we're still here on this trip. We're gonna end the trip together. But right now, we're gonna need to go our separate ways. And the thing is, you see, he was cool. He came back, brought her drink. Listen, who don't want that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He handled his brother. And then he turned around and still was nice to you. And then, now we haven't really seen him check Molly, but if he did really check her, it's been very, very gentle. It hasn't been like he hasn't screamed on her.
Right. No.
I think he gives her boundaries.
Deserving one,
he gives her boundaries. Like, you know, he doesn't, like, really check her per se, but I think he gives her boundaries, and I think that's why it's so respectful. Like, she'll do something that he don't like, and he'll be like, look. Like, when she tried to have that personal conversation with him, he was like, I'm not trying to do that right now because of this. Like, he kind of gives her...
about his family, the family.
Yeah. He gives her like these reminders and boundaries of what he's not trying to do.
Right.
So it's almost like you don't really notice it because he's not coming with that whole stereotype. You need to, and you can't talk to strong women like that. You really, you know, you can set your boundaries, but you know, when you come across to women like trying to tell them what to do, especially Molly seems like a really type A personality, that won't work. And I think he knows that. Like, I'm gonna tell her when she's doing too much, and she seems pretty receptive to that.
Right. You know, I think everyone can be handled, just say, if you present it the right way. Because everybody, let me tell y'all a little story. Let me let you into my business a little bit. So I had a client that I was working with, right? And it was a male. And I could instantly tell that he was very know-it-all. Like he knew everything. You know what I mean? If I said the sky blue, he said, no, I think you got a little pink in it. You know, it was just like everything was an argument or something like that, right? And so, you know, I'm in my newfound quarantine realness, mind clear space, right? So I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna be quiet. Like I'm not fighting it. I'm not gonna fight him. So everything he would say, I would just actually sit and look him in his face. I would look him in his face. And as I'm looking him in his face, I would just, you know, and I could literally see all of that defense melt right in front of my eyes. Because I said, you know what, because I said, he's used to people fighting him. That's what he's used to, that combative. And I just listened. I said, okay. And I couldn't believe that what I was seeing. This guy actually, he brought it all the way down. Because it's like, I'm not going to fight you. So anytime people are not combative with you, unless I say you crazy, you're going to respond to that. And then you're going to calm down.
Right. Because sometimes people are just ready for war, and they're ready for war and they're on. And most of the time, like, you know me, Jane, like I'm not a combative person. So most of the time when people act in a complete fool, I am talking to you calmly, like, okay, well, all right. The most I may give you is I'll give you a look, means, okay, you tap dancing on something else and I'm about to move on from this situation. But the most of the time I'll talk to you calmly. Like I'm not gonna sit here yell and scream at you. I'm not gonna have a screaming match. I'm gonna say what I need to say and keep it moving. Or I'm gonna just ignore you. Like, all right. And smile. That's it.
Just I commend people who, I'm just learning. But I commend people that already have that ability just to
simmer themselves down.
Right.
Simmer.
Right. You about to catch a heart attack. You about to give yourself a stroke. You should really calm down right now. Right. People be acting crazy.
Yeah, I think that goes into, I'm very like, and you know, it takes practice. I'm very clear on what conversations I allow myself to be in or a part of or invite myself to. And usually when people are like that, I'm like, I'm not going to even do this to myself. I'm not. And I would do the same thing, just let them talk. Like, let me hurry up and do this hair so he could be on his way. Exactly. And you know, keep it pushing. Like when
I was like, you know, he was like, he was really like trying it, like, you know, not in a bad, harmful way, but just like everything's an argument. I'm not doing that. I'm not. No. I'm not doing it. Everything. If I say yes, you say. And the thing is, he was saying it before I even got the words out. So he was already saying no, and I didn't even get the words out yet. So I'm like,
what are you saying no to?
And that's when I said
anything.
And I just said, you know what? I'm gonna let him have the stage. Here's the stage. Here's the audience. Here's the lighting. Here's everything. And he
do you need a boom guy?
Right. Do you need a boom mic? Do you need a DP? Do you need
exactly?
And then
when we do cut in action,
what happens is, and that's what happened with Molly. By Andrew being nice, it put the reflection on her. That's why she called that therapy. Because you, like I said, you can't have somebody treating you with respect and you just still going crazy unless you are.
Right. And you're still finding problems. Like, like you're still finding
for stuff. Right.
But do you guys think Molly's the only one who has fault in all of this? Like, especially between her and Issa? Like,
Oh no.
Because a lot of people are
They're both their fault.
Through the mud. They're like, oh, Molly's all right. She has her ways, but she's not completely wrong in her situation.
Issa has her issues too. And this is the thing, kind of like what you said. A lot of the situations with Issa and Molly can be solved if they communicate. First of all, they need to communicate with themselves to figure out what's really going on, what are my issues, and then they need to communicate with each other, because there's so many underlying issues that's going on, so many other I guess that's why the show is called Insecure. So many insecurities on both ends that they need to tackle and address themselves. And then like we were saying earlier, what is the real problem? So I feel like Issa got her issues, Issa, needs work on herself, and Molly has her issues. And then it's just like when no one's approaching the issues, no one's verbalizing it, no one's working on it, it's just two issues that's just hitting each other like this. Like, we can't come together if we both like this. So it's like, it's just all over the place. It's just all over the place, the issues. So she's not the only one to blame. She has her issues, Molly, as far as with her and everybody else, but Issa does play a part too, that she needs to learn how to open her mouth, because it's so many times and so many episodes, even in past seasons, where even pertaining to other people, it'd be something that she want to say and then she doesn't say it.
And get mad about it.
Yeah.
Or hold it inside.
Yeah, so you can't get mad if you never said anything. Like with Lawrence, so many things could have been worked out, and with Nathan, so many things could have been worked out, and Daniel and everything. It's like you have these things going on in your head and you don't open your mouth. And it's like you can't be mad at people when they don't know and when they lash out. Right. Or communicate that you need some type of support, or you're in your own world, or whatever you're going through. Like, you gotta let people know these things.
I totally agree with you. I like the part where he was like, do they even know what the issue is for themselves? You can't. No. You can't imagine how many people. I'm like, what? Do you even know what you're mad at? What are you mad at? And they be like, oh, well, they start. If you have to like think and start fishing, you're being petty. And it sounds like Issa's probably mad that Molly puts her down and doesn't support her, and Molly probably just feels overall like used, so that she gives more in the relationship. It could be something that basic. And that's when I'd be like, all right, I know I'm a little older than the girls in the show. I'm like, would y'all just talk already?
Exactly. That's why I'm always yelling at the TV. Talk to her. Say something. Talk to her.
It's an easy one. And a lot of people do that. They want the other person to guess. And I'm the type of person, I try, but I'm not good at figuring out how you feel. Like, you have to tell me, and I'll be the first one to be like,
I'm like that intention.
I'm sorry.
You have to tell me.
But a lot of people will hold you accountable for something that you don't even know that you did.
Yes.
And really be upset with you about it.
It's like you did way in the past sometimes. Like, I did this 10 years ago and you still mad and you never said anything.
Or not only tell me what I did, but tell me how it made you feel. Like, that's the part that everybody misses out.
Right. Because like, how did you perceive my actions? Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I think that's the bottom line. It's just like, how did you feel when this happened? How did this make you feel? That's why you see children that grow up with adults to have all these issues, because at some point in their life they make you feel a certain way about a situation, and that just until you address it, that thing will take you till you die. It could carry you your life if you don't deal with how it make you feel when I said this. Or like when you
and because a lot of times it's perceived differently. It made you feel some way because you perceived it one way, but that wasn't my intention. Right. So a lot of times if you don't know what my intentions were, like, you may be on the defense, or you may perceive it like I was doing something malicious to you, but that's not what I was doing. If I don't know that that's how you perceived it, then we just gonna keep navigating through life together. You mad, you thinking I'm doing malicious things to you. I'm thinking, oh, I'm helping you out, I ain't do nothing. And we're walking around in the dark. And now years is being built. Piled on. And I'm still doing the same things because I don't know that it's an issue.
Right.
And everyone around you is uncomfortable. All your other friends are uncomfortable.
Right.
You know?
And that's why sometimes I think texting is the devil at times.
Yes.
Because you could be saying something so lighthearted or whatever, and the person will read all into that text. Now that's why you gotta have 97 emojis after stuff. You gotta have
an LOL.
This, you know, because that's why sometimes that you got to pick up that phone so the person can hear your tone, they can hear how you mean it. And things like that. You start texting and people take it and you're like, huh? I didn't even mean that. They don't know that.
I got into a big thing. I got two times. I got into a debate with a friend one time because I forgot to put LOL. It was a joke. And they were so mad. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I forgot to put LOL. Like,
literally, but you know me. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
Like, I forgot to say LOL. Like, it was really a joke. Like, I forgot LOL. Like, why are you coming at me like this? And at one time, it was a text that I sent to a client. And I said, I basically said, this is the last store that I'm going to before I get on the train. And they took it as, this is the last store I'm going to before I get on the train. Like, I'm not shopping for you no more. And they got all hell bent, like, what, you not going to shop for me? What am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
and you like, I'm just letting you know that if you need something, I'm about to get on the train.
But you know, but that's because that's in your head. But until you put that on, that's why it's like either I'm gonna voice text it because I got too much to say, or I'm gonna call you. Because me just doing a quick little text, you're gonna be like, well, what you saying? I had somebody go off on me because anybody, if you me, I use exclamation.
Depends on their mood. What mood are they in?
Let me tell you, I use exclamation points in all the time. Can y'all hear me? I know.
Yes. Yeah. You have froze for a second, but you back.
You back.
I was saying, I had someone go off on me because I use exclamation points for everything. And they said, what you trying to say? And they actually went off because I put an exclamation point. Like, they were saying, going off. But but as I got to know the person, I realized that they have some issues with certain things. And I just said, okay.
They're a little intense.
They read into everything. And that's when I said, if you look at any of my pairs, I put an exclamation point with everything. That's just the way I type. I very rarely put a period. I always say.
Or like when you met me, have I ever?
Right.
You know, but like you said, it's a lot of people dealing like with past experiences in themselves. Like people just really need to do a lot of inner work. That's what I've noticed.
Yes. Oh
like I always tell people, you got to be in therapy to deal with people who don't go to therapy, because it's like, how did you get from an exclamation point that I got an attitude and I woke up and
yelling
to pick on you, even though we have a great relationship every time we see each other.
Right.
I chose today to throw mad exclamation marks, as my students say, get you all upset.
Right.
Like, so a lot of people do that.
It was.
I have a friend, he writes in all caps.
Conversation. Oh, all caps.
Yes, like my friend, he writes in all caps. And in the beginning of our friendship, when I would read his texts, I'm like, why are you yelling?
That's a shame. You got that. So now there needs to be a texting etiquette.
He like, what you
he writes is always all caps. Everything, like you go on his Instagram, his Facebook, everything is always in all caps.
He probably don't know. I might have to teach you to press that button.
Yes, get off that cap lock.
But that is low-key annoying. I don't like cap. They need to have a show called low-key therapy. That's what they need.
Yes.
Something. Even not therapy. I be telling people, and we live in such a good time now. Like we're so much better position than our mothers and grandmothers. I always tell women of color that I'm like, this is the first time that even if you don't want to go to a therapy, leaning on your girlfriend. Like we're just so much, our thought process is better. Find you some good girlfriends or some other ladies. There's so many books. We got Instagram. Like soul search and find what works for you. Like you don't gotta walk around with this like the women in our past had to. They had nothing.
So they didn't. They having no tools, no support, no nothing. And then you had to put on the fake face that everything was good.
So, we got our mamas and aunts that, they are who they are. But like we are of a different generation. I'm like, I be looking at some women. I'm like, you could have a beautiful, like you could be a beautiful person. Like some women, I feel really sad for. Like Molly would make me feel sad because I'm like so young, so beautiful. You know, fix this. You know, you're gonna miss out.
And you have
on
a beautiful situation that could really blossom into something. And you are like, every episode, I'm so scared she's about to lose Nathan. The whole episode, I'm like, she gonna lose this man. She gonna lose this man. And I'm like, relax, you gonna lose him. Like, it's so true.
But you know, listen, I just want to switch gears.
I've watched women that I've seen.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. I think there's a slight.
All right, you back.
Okay, I just want to switch gears for just 2 seconds. So, what do you guys think of the dynamic with Nathan coming back around and the possibility of Lawrence getting into the mix with the Nathan and the Issa?
Right, because who did he call? That was the question. Who did he call that he said he missed? He been thinking about, was it Consola or was it Issa? You think it was Issa?
You know,
because I could totally see a guy being like, hey, I just saw your homegirl.
Yes.
And then with men,
that's true. I didn't
now you in his mind, and here they come to like ruin your life because they saw your friend, and now they remember you.
I've gotten phone calls before. You like, oh God, here you go. Why did you see
like,
somebody?
Who you saw? Like, what jogged your memory to like want to call me? So I think it was Issa that he called. You know,
got it.
Do you want to see them back together? Do you want to see Issa and Lawrence back together?
Only if Issa fixes herself. I feel like her in the place that she's still in right now is damaging to Lawrence and his growth. Like, he's grown and he's in a certain place. He's open to love. He's open to relationship, but she's so wishy-washy and all over the place. I feel like another black man don't need any more issues inflicted from us. Like, if she fix herself and work on herself and get it together and learn how to communicate and all those things that we said that she got issues with, if she fixed that, then I feel like her and Lawrence could be good. Until she fixed that, leave Lawrence alone.
I'm a little like, I feel like Lawrence, because he's about to lose his job, like, you know, he's going back to what's familiar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some guys is like, well, when I went through this last time, and like, let me go back to the situation that I'm comfortable with. Like, I think they both, like, sometimes I don't believe in that. I always feel like sometimes there's a reason why someone's your ex and they left on really bad terms. So I think that both of them are just acting like nothing happened. It's like, if y'all not trying to really unpack some of them real issues y'all had, like, Issa, you cheated. Lawrence, you was depressed. You had like some kind of depression. Did you check that? Can that happen again? Because it looks like, you know, you're about to get laid off. Like, is that just like, you know, like, you know what I mean? When he did that, he was clearly depressed. And then it's like, he broke up, got a new job, got better, and kind of like forgot about her.
That's what I was gonna say too, because so don't come back to me now that you about to lose your job again. And now, because when you up, you condoling it out when this person going up, like, no, and then now when you back on, don't come back to me. He could, which is tell between your legs, because he the too. Even though he's working on his stuff, they all need to lay on the couch. They need to have a low-key couch. Like, everybody needs to lay on the couch.
Low-key couch, yes, low-key couch.
Low-key couch, yes. All of them.
Right, you're right. Because even if, first of all, I would not take Lawrence, me personally, if he lost his job, we would not be back together. Only because
and not the money thing, right?
With what's her name? I see how he was with Consola with at the apartment.
Right.
So no, you can't. No. You need to keep up the same energy.
Right.
Lose your job. You're gonna have to do that over there.
And you know what? It's not even a financial thing. I think it's like he said. It's like, it's who he becomes when he doesn't feel empowered in that way. So it's like, you're not going to even like him because that's why you cheated on him the first time. He was down and out. You know, he wasn't really forgetting your birthday. He was doing, like, he's not completely an angel in the situation. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people do that. They just get back with their exes. I'm like, well, did you resolve what the issue was when you broke up the first place? Like, that's not going to go away. People don't change completely overnight. So I know you're lonely and things are happening, but like, this person hasn't changed, or do you even know if this person has changed?
But to play devil's advocate, like to play devil's advocate, most men that's really men do not know how to deal with not being the man, not being the provider, and they beat down on themselves, and they really get in dark places, and they don't know how to communicate those things to the woman that's with them, or the people that's around them, that I'm going through something because I feel inadequate. I have a dream that I believe in. It's not, taking off. I know that it'll be great, but like, I'm in a slump, like, and you keep pressing me saying, get a job, do any job, and I'm like, I feel less than as a man, I feel less than as a person. I feel defeated. I'm depressed. Like, he never admitted I'm depressed. Like, I'm dealing with this. He never voiced these things. Like, so he needs to work on that. That's his therapy session. And that's, but that speaks to a lot of men, that when a man is really a man, not working and not providing and not being able to be the man in the relationship takes a toll on them. Any man that's comfortable laying on your couch and he good with just living off of you, that's the boy
they out here.
Yeah, that's the boy. So you should be mad at him. The one that's depressed is the one you need to give a hug, be like, babe, it's okay. Like, I get it, I understand. I've dated men that when they're not where they are, they need to be financially, they're not a good person, they're not a nice person to be around. They are in a slump, and you're like, and all you could do is like, babe, it's gonna be okay. Babe, it's gonna be okay. Babe, it's gonna be okay. Until, like, if I'm saying babe, it's gonna be okay too long, I'm like, okay, babe.
Yeah, because that gets tired. Yeah, that gets tiring.
I was gonna say, you may have to leave.
Real tired.
After a while, it's like,
that's what I did.
That's another thing, especially as Black women. That's tiring. Like, we can help, but at some
saying that for
extent,
years.
you gotta help yourselves and like
ask. Black women, so a lot of times, are considered the mule of society. We really are, because we will heave ho. We will take care of our man, take care of the kids, build his self-esteem. And unfortunately, a lot of times when it comes to that emotional support, we're at the bottom of the totem pole. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because we've allowed it, because like one of my girlfriends used to say, oh, no, you ain't gonna kill me. And then your next wife, you be like, no, baby, don't touch that. Don't pick that up. She
it's
said,
very true.
Do that to me. She said,
or they'll look you in the face and be like, I didn't ask you to do all of that.
Right. So you have to
sometimes
it. When they going through that, you have to love them from afar. You have to be like, you know what? I'm gonna have to kind of especially if you're not married to them and living together.
Right.
You have to I need to take a back seat while you figure out what you're doing, because
here's some tools.
But
here's a book.
Here's some book. Reach out to his homeboys. Be like, yo, I think he's going through it. I think I've done everything that I can, and I don't think I'm helping anymore. But some women, they'll carry that weight, and I'll be like, sis, let it go. You enabling
I've given a guy a book before. I've given him a book like, this is gonna be our last hurrah, but read this book. This gonna help you.
Let me know.
It is given. Here's some tools.
Because how would you say, like, are you a licensed therapist?
Yeah.
You can't help that person.
Get out. And then sometimes, and then women, you end up like messing up your own life because you really trying to definitely help. Because I'm not a fan, because I don't want to be like, yeah, the sisters ain't never trying to help the brother. I can hear it now. Right. It's like, it's definitely not the sisters not trying to help the brothers. It's like the sisters trying to put her mask on herself first before she saves anybody else. And I think that's what a lot of that is about. Put your own mask on before you out here trying to rescue everybody.
Right. My cape ain't even tied tight, and I'm trying to fly with you on my back.
Barely saving myself.
Right. Exactly.
Well, at least in Molly's case, Andrew clearly seemed like he's doing his thing. If you notice, his brother kept saying superstar, because y'all know I think Andrew owned the company. That's just my
Me too, yeah. Well, after you said that, I'm thinking me too. Right. I think he's low key, like under, like not making it, not showing as big as he actually
being
is.
humble.
Being humble, right.
If Andrew could send an email and get Vince Staples to come and perform from an email. He got some power.
Well, what did you guys think about that when Issa asked, she asked Nathan to have the performer come after Molly told her no? Do you think Molly should have been upset?
I don't feel like she should have been upset. I mean, I feel like, she had a right to feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yeah, she definitely has some type to feel some type of way. Like, okay, I asked you not to do something, but I asked you. You said you didn't want to talk to Andrew on my behalf, but you didn't say never ever communicate with him ever. But I mean, I understand why she's mad, and I understand why Issa did what she did. It was like, I'm in a crunch. I really need this person. I got flyers made. I'm gonna look like a complete idiot when this man don't show up. So I'm gonna have to use any resource. Like, I'll deal with you later. We have to scrap it out. I'm gonna have to just scrap it out with you. But I can't look like a fool in front of all of these thousands of people after I've been promoting this thing. So I'm gonna have to talk to somebody. And that's what she did. It was just like, okay, you could be mad, but I had to do what I needed to do to protect my new brand.
I'm a little iffy with that. I think I was Team Molly on that situation because I really just felt like, because it's not the one incident that was a problem. It was the combo. That was combo number 5 by the time I'm
right.
Because it's like she's done so. It's not like it was a one argument and this that that's it. It was just like it was the build up and nobody's talking. Yeah. Communication's not there, and so it was the build up. It's the build up of you did this, you always ask for this, you need help with this, and then I told you boundaries, and then you went around my boundaries. And I think so. That's why for me, although I think my other side to the argument is that if Issa would have came to her real humble, then I would have helped her. If she would have been like, listen, Molly, I know we haven't talked. I know I've been busy.
Right.
I know.
Address the elephant in the room. Don't just skate across it like, hey, girl. Well, because Molly really thought that she was just calling her to talk to her. And I think that's the reason why she was so on the defense, because she felt like, shit, I'm getting excited thinking my friend is reaching out and you just really just want something. So it was kind of smacking the face.
And then when she said, girl, do that pillow talk, I was offended by that, because I'm like, so now I'm a hoe. So now you want me to pull out to get you a guest artist. Because that to me is what that sounds like. Like, girl, after you wear him out in the bed, then ask for the
favor for me.
Slip this in real quick,
Yeah, do what you got, take one for the team, and then come. And to me, that's why I was a little more leaning with Team Molly on that, because because Issa could have, I think she could have still asked Molly, but have asked her in a really, really humble way. And I don't think
like, girl, I know I didn't come to Thanksgiving. I know it hasn't been the best, but I need your help.
I really need your help. Like, I've been, just trying to do this. And that's exactly what we said. This is the common denominator in every situation: communication.
Right.
That is the biggest problem in all of these situations. Communication. Let people know what you're going through, how you feeling, everything. Like, because when you don't communicate it and you don't address things, it seems as if you don't care. Right. And it seems like it's just nothing to you that we're not talking. It's just nothing to you that I sat around at my family's house with pie for you and you never showed up to get it. It's just nothing.
They should eat tacos at the other place.
Yes, and Instagramming it. That would have sent me through the roof. I probably would have showed up. Like, I'm saying,
like, really?
Like, you. Oh, right.
That would have
pissed me off. They eat tacos on that show. Eat like some tacos.
Like, you really don't care. She didn't care.
Yeah, that whole situation was a lot. But I think because I want to do some predictions now, okay? Because I have my predictions. I want to hear you guys' predictions, for the rest of the season, maybe the next episode. So take it away.
I think in this season, we're probably going to see Molly and Issa friendship dissolve a little bit, and I think next season will probably be all about their journey or road to maybe getting it back together. But I don't think they're going to resolve this within the next 3 episodes. I think if anything, it's going to explode and come to head. You know, so I think a lot of season 5 is going to be about relationships and them just probably getting older because when the show started, it was like, what, 25? So I guess now they're supposed to be around 30.
29. She was 29 because remember she turned 30 the next year.
Oh, okay. So now they're going to be older next season. I think you're going to see Tiffany probably really going through some postpartum. Like this, I think we're going to see like a whole shift in them getting older and realizing like, we don't got time for this petty stuff. We getting a little too old for that. And like just kind of shape shifting a little bit.
Yeah, I predict the same thing. I predict that it's going to be basically a growth of them really bumping their heads in other relationships and kind of seeing where things could have been saved in their friendship. Like, just basically them going through the trials and tribulations of trying to start these new friendships and new relationships in their time apart, and that the friction that's going to be caught, because basically you're going to be having to tell the rest of your friends to choose sides, because y'all can't be in the same place, since if it's going to always escalate to something big, it's going to cause a divide between the Tiffanys, the Kellys, and all of this, and the Nathans and the Andrews and in the Lawrence situation. Like, who knows what's going to go on? But I really feel like it's going to be a journey of them discovering what the issue is, them discovering other relationships and friendships, and seeing the problems that they took into these new relationships that was never taken care of in the last relationship, and seeing like the grass isn't always greener. Like, cutting this friend off and finding a new friend
is not gonna fix it
better. Yeah, when you already have underlying issues. Yeah.
They think it's the friend, and I'm like, is it all the friend, or you want to take some accountability as your role into
I mean, that's impossible.
I know a lot of people like that. Like, I'm just gonna cut her off. I'm like, that's fine. You can cut her off or him off, but is that gonna really change? Because you gonna have this problem again with another friend.
Right. Especially when you got 5-6 friends and y'all all have the same issue. That means it may be you.
That's the common denominator.
Yeah, you're the common denominator in this situation. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody got the same issue with you, and it's them. Okay.
Right. I have some predictions. So the thing with this show is that it's so unpredictable because it is really like real life. So you know how, if this show is to be predictable, Molly would go to therapy, her and Issa would be friends again, and then now we're off to season 5, right? But this show ain't gonna do that to us. They can't make it that easy. They're not gonna make it that easy. No. I think it's gonna be.
If they got good writers, they wouldn't.
Huh?
As if they got good writers, they wouldn't.
Right. So what I think is gonna happen is we're just gonna see the more twists and turns. What happens when you're trying to evolve into a person, and I think we're gonna. Because nothing is ever a straight road, you know, it's always twists and turns and ups and downs. So I think it's going to be in the development of this is who we are, this is who we're becoming to be. I think we're going to see a lot of twists and turns, especially when it comes to, first of all, Molly still navigating this relationship with Andrew. Because sometimes that messiness be deep on the inside and it be rising up. Then we're going to, I think part of it too is we're going to see Issa really like weighing, do I go with what I know with Lawrence? Do I stick with who's new and supportive? Do I find somebody new? Is Daniel gonna
she needs to work on herself?
She do, because that's too much. I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it. I'm thinking about all the casualties along her road of, do I want this? Do I want that? You're messing. That's what people don't understand. When you don't do your self-heal journey, you start messing up the lives of other people.
Yes.
You're affecting Nathan. You're affecting Lawrence, like, because you're all over the place, and now you're screwing them up for their next situation because you didn't work on you. Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Let me tell you,
I love Issa, but she can't be self-censored. She can be.
Who's that?
Like, Issa. She can be very self-serving. Like, you think about it, she do what she want to do. She's very about, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know,
very all over the place, very indecisive. It's very annoying. She irks my life with that because she never knows what she wants. All over the place.
Someone asked me girl, about like my status as far as dating. Someone was talking to me about that, and I was like, these last few years, I've really been working on me, and I know I didn't want nobody with me the way I was even just last year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to, because the thing is, to your point, Shatanya, while you're working on yourself, while you're working on yourself to try to bring somebody in that, I mean, everybody's different with that.
It's not fair. It's selfish.
Yeah, for me, it's like, you know what? I'm so glad that I am where I am right now, because now I see a lot more clearer. And it's just like, okay, you'll know when it's time to bring somebody into your life. You'll know you'll know when it's time to use new people. But when you know you're going through a lot internally, mentally, emotionally, how about you just relax?
Leave people alone. Exactly. Leave people alone.
Right. Stop trying to have a relationship and you back crazy.
Right. Now you stressing them out, stressing yourself out.
Right.
No.
So it's kind of like, and the thing is, it takes a mature person in a mature situation to say, you know what, no, I'm willing to chill right now. Chill. And then when I'm ready, I'll get there. Because the thing is, who don't want to be kikiing in Mexico with they boo?
Exactly.
I think that's when I was like, I'm so happy she called that therapist, because she's like, I'm having some hard time letting things go. Like, clearly, because if you can't look at that beautiful place that she struggled to get to because of work, and somehow that incident was enough to kind of like ruin almost like a whole day's worth of paradise. Yeah, you need to kind of talk to somebody to kind of help you process.
How you got?
Because I was talking to you, Jane.
How you got Andrew over there giving you body, and giving you all this this hair moment. Wait.
Yeah.
This hair yes.
I saw that towel.
How you got that acting up, girl?
Yes. I wouldn't even have saw that towel, girl.
Girl, let me get somebody key.
Exactly.
How you
okay, girl, no problem. Ran back. If your drink is strong enough, that wouldn't even have fazed me. I'd be like, okay, girl, I'll be right back.
Right back.
Why were you paying so much close attention to the fact that they didn't show a key? You looking at the wrong thing.
I think you said it too, James. Like, you could tell she don't travel like that then. I think I was talking to you, James. Like, she don't travel like that because they do ask for your room key and room number when they put
Molly has traveled on that show. Remember last couple of seasons ago she was away? Molly traveled. I don't understand that. I did not understand her not knowing they asked for your key. I just didn't.
Because it's not unusual, and I've had that happen to me before. I think I swear in my mind, and I could have seen somebody get a towel freely, and then I come and they're like, "Oh, what's your room number? What's your room key?" And I just be like, "Give me the room number. Like, give me the towels." Yeah.
But even with that, like, Molly don't know those people's backstory. They may have been there for 2 weeks. Right. And this lady probably know, like, okay, I've seen them before. They got towels here yesterday. They got towels here the other day. Here, take your towel. I've never seen you before. Can I have your towel? Can I have your hotel key?
Right.
So, like, I can know that you are staying here.
And
I can see if every time you was going there, she was asking for your key, but she's seen you. She hasn't seen you. We don't know if she's seen these people before.
And truthfully, remember, Molly walked up behind those people. She
right. So how did you even see it?
What happened before that? She doesn't. It takes literally a second to show a key or whatever. Molly,
you don't know if they showed when they was walking towards her. Because I was playing it over in my head, like, did I see them? Like, did she not ask them? They could have been walking towards her and show her the key and then got into a conversation. Right. It could have been hanging on his neck. It could have been anywhere.
Right.
You don't know. It could have been sitting right there. Or she could have
gave it to them, and it's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna have a whole movement about a towel lady in Mexico? like, what are you gonna do? Like, sometimes it's unfortunate, but
Black
it's like
Lives Matter movement.
You gotta pick and choose. You really gotta pick and choose what you're gonna give your energy to at what moment. Because if she really did that, like, she could have totally said, "I'm gonna take your name. and I'm gonna go see a manager later if it really bothered her that much.
Right.
But I don't know if I would have like allowed it to ruin that moment. Like if I really thought somebody did that to me, I would be like, I'm gonna go see the general manager later. I'm gonna get this girl name and I'm gonna take care of it that way.
Right.
And she could have got some comps too, how she did it that way.
Exactly. Got some free drinks, some drink vouchers at a hotel. That's
She's like, you gotta know how to do it right.
Well, ladies,
your trip.
We're coming to the end of our ladies' room, continuing the conversation. So listen,
so much fun.
Thank you so much for, just coming in and giving your thoughts on this episode. This was definitely an explosive episode because it looked in all kinds of ways. But anyway, it was very, very good. It was great discussion. It was a great discussion, and we'll be like staying tuned because we have 3 more episodes to go. So we have to see exactly how this evolves. Next week looks like it's going to be good. We have to see how this evolves and see where these relationships take us, and then what we are learning in the process as well. Okay, because anybody can learn a little something from these situations. So thank you again, Roxanne, for joining, and thank you again, Shatanya, for joining. Okay,
it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Same here.
Jane B, the CommonSenseDiva, aka, and thank you so much for joining us. Bye.